But nowadays, on a hike or a camp, the 5-gallon bucket can be employed. You go, and these are easy to come by. You go into any Home Depot or Lowe's around the country, they are literally begging you to buy some 5-gallon buckets. Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded from my home bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I love bathrooms. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Privy Summer. It's back. And this summer is going to be a summer of experimentation. It's going to be fun. I want to open up this week. Summer is nigh. There's sweat tween my thighs. It's too dang hot for wearing disguise. Pull out the freeze pops to help the fat sweat stop. Sometimes this heat gives me a fear of big log drops. Because sweat don't quit just 'cause you sit to expel spicy T-bell when you have to poop. So when things heat up, keep milk out the cup or you'll be tied to the pot till you've yupped. But be calm if you will. Enjoy this pod and be still. 'Cause Privy Summer's back to help you all chill. Welcome back to Privy Summer. I want to open up with some thoughts and discussion. I had a coworker this week approach me. Anytime I get approached, you know it's going to be good. And this coworker approached me with a couple of things bathroom related. The first was he approached and he said, I have a question for you. I was like, okay, yeah. He goes, you being married, I want to know, have you ever had this experience? And I said, well, I don't know. Where is this going? Pray tell, what are we getting ready to get into here? And he casually says, do you ever, like, when you are pooping or, like, throughout the day, discover that one of your significant other or wife's hairs has made its way nestled right into the bum crack, for lack of a way of saying it? And I stared at this coworker. Now, this summer, Anna and I will celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. We're very excited. It's a long time for her to have put up with me. And I had to look at him and I had to be like, truly, that I have never had that experience. To my knowledge, no. And I'm sitting here going, what is the arrangement by which your girlfriend or whatever's hair ends up in the nethers, guy? Like, sort yourself out and to quit talking to me about it. Full disclosure, that was my seltzer from last episode. But don't you worry, I've got a fresh polar seltzer on deck. It's a 2-seltzer night, friends. It's going to be great. Summer is a great time of year. And whether you've got girlfriend hair or booty sweat messing up your undies, it's a time made greater by the joys of camping and hiking. At the point of this episode's record, tomorrow I will be going on the first hike of the year with our youth at our church. It's going to be great. I said first because I think we're going to try to get our family out on the camping and trailing and all that stuff. It's going to be great. But summer brings the joy of the great outdoors. The creepy, crawlity, buggity, wuggities are all over out there. The air is literally toxic to me. I breathe the air and I sneeze and I cannot breathe, but there's something about being out in it. And I've got to admit, we've talked about camping here on this show before. The discussion around camping is not a new one. And the wonders of pooping in the outdoors, there's nothing better than flapping a hot, steamy pile and letting the cold, gentle breeze of the great American wilderness just christen your backside. There's nothing like it. But there has, and we've explored from time to time different. This is another byproduct for those joining us by video. You're watching me get what I like to call a deep eye allergy itch. It's where the air has decided to wreak havoc on my eyeball socket and make it itch really bad. You really just got to get your fingy up in there and just get, you know what I'm saying? But there have been multiple attempts to develop technology to make the process of shazzing in the great outdoors a more comfortable thing. I realized that the way I move too much and it like the video on the thing, I can't help it. It's not my app. I wasn't made for video. We're in my home bathroom. If you didn't know, welcome to my home bathroom. We're gonna have to do an installment of what's on Hunter's weird shelf. So this, I got one installed, but my wife got me these light bowls. They're like little lights for your toilet bowl, so it lights up all neon colors. So we got a spare. We got one on deck in case this one gets fouled up or something wild happens with it. So it's good. It's all good. But one of the things that there's been all sorts of technology that have come to me via an attempt at art that ought to be talked about. One of the things we find a lot when we start talking about camping technology is that much of the camp bathroom technology that we have today is the result of wartime adaptation or wartime technology that has made its way into the public sphere. And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense. Like, it actually makes perfect sense. A lot of technology and things have developed out of necessity. Things which we develop out of necessity make their way into luxury and eventually hobby. Back in the day, in wartime, if you had to poop, you hit the bushes. But in the times of trench warfare and having to go in or around the camp, there have been a number of options for dealing with it. One that is super ingenious that I saw is you bury a pee pipe. You actually like dig a couple feet down and then you stick a big pipe so it sticks up about waist high or a little bit lower than waist high, otherwise it's going to be weird. And then you pee into the pipes. That way the pee goes down under the ground rather than being on the surface, and it deals with more of it. Not a bad thing. You can dig a cat hole, a lot of it involves digging a hole to deal with the things that come out of yours. Hey. But at some point, it became either too difficult for military people to dig, or the conditions did not allow it. Frozen ground, mud, like the likes, didn't allow for digging and depositing in these ways. And so they had to begin to find other methods by which they would deal with the byproducts that were a part of their life. And one of these was to use different receptacles to catch, store, and then do away with the poo. The earliest mentions of this approach popped up in the times of World War I. Many of the ammo boxes of this time were made out of cardboard, but with wetter conditions and the need to keep ammunition dry, the metal ammo can was born. So here's the deal. What does metal ammo storage, other than this is America? It's June, which is in many ways the worst month. But it's also one of the best because it gets us psyched for summer and America. Sorry, everybody whose birthday's in June. You got ate up by the rainbow disaster that has happened now. Sorry, everyone. But what does ammo storage have to do with bathrooms? Well, as we noted, much of our camping technology derives from wartime. It's so dang good. Every time I sup an orange vanilla polar seltzer, it is like the first time that I have supped an orange vanilla polar seltzer. It is so good. It is the quintessential seltzer. If you are on the fence, right there. If you're, I'm having a truly bad moment. If you've ever been on the fence about trying a seltzer, get yourself a bunch of polar seltzer, orange vanilla. You will not be disappointed. Somehow it tastes like a creamsicle with none of the sugar. I don't understand it. Much of our camping technology derives from wartime. And when the ammo cans would be emptied, and you need a container for moving your materials, the empty ammo can was within reach. In bunkers or foxholes, you didn't want to just poop wherever. They did. But like life in the hole was better with less loose poop. And that's true for everywhere. That's true for life in the foxhole. That's true for life in any car. That's true for life in any bathroom. Life is better with less loose poop. The less loose poop that you can have in your life, the better your life will be. I'll guarantee it. Unless you're like a weird like fertilizer technician person, you probably love loose poop. You probably get real jazzed about loose poop, you weirdo. But the less loose poop, the better. Soldiers are reported as sitting on ammo boxes and using them as toilets. In a pinch, you do what you have. A soldier's got to do what a soldier's got to do. And so these men of valor hung beef on the side of ammo cans to make their deposits. And you know what? I'll bet. I haven't tried this. The thing is it's hard to get a hold of these ammo cans now because they're like, oh, they're vintage and collectible. And then if you did get a hold of it, you'd probably have to pay so much money to get a hold of it that you wouldn't want to hang beef into it. But I do want to try. And here's what I'll say. If I have tried by the time this episode's released, you might see a little cut here. If not, you'll know that I have failed in retrieving this. Excuse me. But I imagine in dropping flapping jacks into the metal ammo can, I bet it makes a somewhat satisfying sound. Like dunk dunk. Like I know it's not that far between booty hole and bottom of ammo can, but I bet it's not the worst sound. A person who did this, a person who pooped into an empty ammo can, became known as a groover. This was in reference to the grooves the metal ammo can would leave as you pressed your butt up to the can while defecating yourself into the can. Have you ever seen a wicker chair and thought, I might be just fat enough to have my duff look like a patchwork lattice apple pie crust if I sit in it? Wicker and lattice hate fat people, and fat people, here I am. And all the people are like, oh, he's shaming. Oh, he's body. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. I don't hate people who are heavier. I'm tubby 9x7. Like, it's fine. The reality is when you are of a bigger nature and you sit on a wicker item, it reacts to you differently than it does to a person who is not. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to be aware of it. Lattice doesn't like big people, and big people don't like lettuce. Lettuce, you know what I'm saying? Also, another rant, the chubby tax on plus size shirts is stupid. Like, if you are, okay, so here's their logic. If you order a size small, medium, large, and extra large shirt, they charge you the same. What that means is the amount of material for a small and extra large shirt, they are saying, yeah, not much difference in amount of material. That's a flippin' lie. But when you go from extra large to 2XL, they're like, oh yeah, $3 charge on that shirt. It's not even that much more material. I think once small and medium, one price. Large, extra large, and 2X, different price. And if you're going 3X, 4X, it's totally fine. But that way, there's not this like, there's some logic to like, oh, I'm paying more because there is more material being used. But when you have like extra small costs the same as extra large, and then the 2X is $3 more, that's stupid. That's sizes. That is shaming. So go after every clothing brand you've ever interacted with. That's what I say. But these groovers, these men who sat on their ammo cans to poop, had these grooves left in their butt. When it leaves lines, that's the groover effect. In modernity, the groover is, you can look up groover toilets. And it's less of an ammo can, mostly because hipsters and, again, vintage collectors alike are a scramble to get these cool metal boxes. Ooh, it's so neat. I'm going to put it on my shiplap and call it a week. But nowadays, on a hike or a camp, the 5-gallon bucket can be employed. You go, and these are easy to come by. You go into any Home Depot or Lowe's around the country, they are literally begging you to buy some 5-gallon buckets. In the mid-'60s, the term for groover became widely used by rafters and hikers who did not have a shovel and either needed to pack out the poop, turned to metal ammo cans and small buckets with lids to do the job. Nowadays, you can buy groovers. These are designed and engineered to be lightweight and portable and able to be hauled out into the out of doors. Some of them even collapse and have like a little like storage sleeve. They're easier. They come with little bags that you can stick inside them. You can get a groover kit for less than $30, complete with a Fat Kid approved 400-pound seat, bags, phone and TP holder, and a carrying case. They have the groover down to a science, and in getting the groover down to a science, they don't leave grooves, so they are not groovers. These modern groovers have seats. Back in my day, the groovers cut your butt and sank into your bank and tore up your hide. And as a result, back in my day, we made our own groovers. This is Hunter's Anecdotes to keep you afloat. This hunter's anecdote is called Redneck Groover. So, as if a groover is already not hick enough, when me and my buddies in our senior year, one of the things we'd like to do, especially when the weather turned, is we would like to go out camping on the Sun River with the guys. We'd go out camping, put up next to Sun River, get a couple tents, fire pit. One time, my buddy David, friend of the show, hopefully future guest, woke up and had like rolled in his sleeping bag, and like the back part of his sleeping bag had like melted on the fire. Dude could have died. Very scary. Glad he didn't. But one of the things that we would often do as our setup is we had this like redneck groover porta potty. And what this was is we would dig a hole. So like, dig a couple foot so hole. And then you would put a lawn chair over it. And I remember seeing this before I knew what it was. I walked up on it and I'm like, what in the world? What is this? And essentially what you're looking at is you have like, again, a foot to 2 foot hole in the ground, and you look in the hole and it's just pile with TP and poo-poos and all this stuff. And then above the hole is a chair. It's like a camp chair, but you've cut out the seat and then you put like a not a toilet seat, but like some sort of like a platform to make it a little bit firm. And you sit on this chair, and it's actually pretty comfy, but you just sit on the lawn chair and you just poop through the hole that's been cut through the booty bottom of it down into the little pile underneath. Sometimes, we'd employ a bag. Sometimes we'd stick a bucket if we didn't want to dig. But that chair, if you got an old randy lawn chair, what I learned is if you have an old randy lawn chair, you can, with the old randy lawn chair, cut out the bottom, cut out the butt of it, and you can just poop straight through the bottom of the old randy lawn chair. It is fine. It will get the job done. We had a great time. On that same trip, we got 2 flat tires. And the thing about getting 2 flat tires is you usually got 1 spare. It was a long night. This has been Hunter's Anecdotes to keep you afloat. As is noted, they've got the groover down to a science, and nowadays often employed with the groover is a bag of some sort. I'm already on record saying pooping into a vomit bag. Oh, yes. Yes. This is it. So, what I'm talking about, you put your butt, you're right there. You're just going to, and then you're just, boom, right in the bag, twist, bam, poo bag. It's going to be great. But I'm on record saying pooping into one of those, great idea. Big fan. It's fine. But there's another way There's another war/space technology which gets employed in the camp. And we need to explore now the wag bag. Now, while wag bag sounds like a questionable bedroom move, it isn't. It could not be further. I'm going to be honest. I really tried to figure out where the idea for the wag bag came from. And I couldn't really find it. Like, there talks about military service people pooping in bags of very type. When they couldn't be dealt with for a while, it just sits around. They start to put things in it. And that seems to be where this has come from. If you don't have your ammo box, you poo into a bag. You got your wag bag. Why? Because it's full of wag. Now, it sits around. And then as it sits around, it begins to get kind of funky. Poo, it stinks. And so they're like, wow, when we poo in it, if we put something in it to keep it from smelling, then maybe we don't have to move it as quickly and it can sit around a little longer than maybe it would have. So they've started to put things in it. Lime, looking at you, great stink. Back in the day, they put lime in the River Thames because it stank so bad because of all the nasty human yucky poo-poos that were in the water. Disgusting, sick, foul people. Sorry. But the earliest historical marker where I can find the official, this is what a wag bag is 1999, which seems way too late in the game. I think this is when it was patented, or when someone said, oh, I can make a trainload of money off this. Let's slap a label on it and charge 5 times more than I should. In short, I think this was a thing that happened for a long time before the Clean Waste Company patented or designed their wag bag. The name comes from the chemical compound they put inside the bag, known as the Waste Alleviation Gel, WAG, or WAG for short. Now, I would have called it a wag bag because you wag into it. Wagging is the act of taking a fat deuce in a bag. Wag, bag. But no, it actually stands for Waste Alleviation Gel. And it's this gel stuff that both deodorizes the stinky poop and also kills some of the bacteria, making it not non-toxic, but less hazardous to be around. You can, with a wag bag, carry it out. It makes it safer to have poop around in a bag. It's highly used in hikes and river trips where digging the hole for the bog is less of an option. The wag bag is an excellent option for storing and removing your poop from the greatest of outdoors. Before they had the wag in wag bag, that is the gel, they had something else called flying toilets. Now, flying toilets are not what they sound like. On the surface, it seems like an incredibly wild idea. But in short, if you poop into a bag and carry it out, you do what you have to do. The flying toilet, however, is a tongue-in-cheek term for skeeting a bag of poop as far as you can on your hike. You're hiking, you've done your thing, you've got your bag full of wag, not the gel, the turd. And instead of packing it out, you toss that thing down the mountainside. And there's stories on the internet, because where else are stories these days? Well, there's stories of people getting just pelted by flying toilets. Imagine you're walking along on a hike and you just get pancaked with some bag of fresh laid human woof. The hike's over. Like, poo is not where it's supposed to be. Bad. This doesn't really make the news anymore. But because it should, because it's people getting hit with bags of human turds. But now, whenever it does make the news of a person getting hit by a flying toilet, it's an environmental thing. They like to talk about it and use some dude getting smacked with a sloppy wet bag as the reason why we should all be worried about the bags and how these bags are ruining the environment. I'm going to tell you right now, if I get pancaked by anything that has to do with human anything, the last thing on my mind is, oh gosh, the plastics in this bag are going to hurt the mushrooms. I'm thinking I'm going to find somebody because I just got hit with a dookie bag on my hike. It's 85 degrees. I've got booty sweat. There's no reason I should be dealing with this. This cannot be a thing. It's a dookie bag bombing. Wild. Don't do that. Pack that crap out. Literally. Between wag bags and groovers, we have two more inventions, and you could even put them together. Put the wag gel in the bag of the groover and let groover yourself. Go groover hoover. But with these, it's just another couple tools in your arsenal to be ready for the summer camp and hike season this year. How exciting. Happy Privy Summer, everyone. It's the summer of experimentation. We've got a lot in store. A lot of special things that we need to share with you this summer. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you're joining us on YouTube, give it a thumbs up or whatever the kids do on YouTube these days. I don't know. YouTube, guys. But leave us a rating or review. The 5-star option is our preferred, and that helps people find the show. They search for toilets, they search for bathrooms, as you are. But it helps us bump up into more able to be found. Leave us a rating and review. For every rating that you leave, we will donate $1 to the Wounded Warriors Project and Living Water International. And for every written review you leave on Apple Podcasts, it's falling. I would poop here again if I'm not too scared and can still breathe. we'll donate a couple bucks to those written reviews. And that is as a thank you. We donate that as a thank you for leaving us a review, and as a thanks to the good work that our Wounded Warriors have done, and in the hope that we can get cleaner water for all, reminding you to keep pooping in the free world, because that free world was not always free. Join us on social. We're at Privycast. You can follow me. I'm at Owlet7. Follow Randy Bowles at Randy Bowles. If you have pictures for Randy Bowles, pictures for Toilet Tuesday, if you just want to share funny bathroom memes, join us over on Facebook at Privycast, and join the Facebook group, The Privies. We've got all sorts of stuff going on out there. Funny bathroom memes are being shared on the Privies, I would say almost weekly. So join us out there. We would love for you to share with us. You can send us an email, privycast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear you. Episode suggestions, comments, concerns. If you had, if your poo is a funny color because you ate too much Captain Crunch, I've been there. I've done that multiple times this week. If you ate something and it's like, gosh, I have got to tell you about this. We would love to hear from you. Read your emails here on the show. Read those reviews here on the show. We want you to be a part of what we are doing here. Thank you so much for listening. As always, we want to thank Kevin MacLeod for the use of his music, and Podington Bear for the use of his music this week. This brings us to the end of another episode of Privy. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep pooping in the free world. Enjoy your Privy Summer. Own your stank. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.